Good evening, friends. In our Saturday learning session for today, we will be discussing about the GST Council 56th meeting, which was held on 3rd of September 2025. It made far-reaching changes in the GST law and is being termed as the beginning of GST 2.0. Various rate changes have been done. Not only the rate changes, but also rationalization of the rates so that the GST law becomes easy to comply with and the complication arising due to the classification issues that becomes reduced. The proposals go beyond routine rate adjustments. They aim to simplify the structure, move towards a two-rate framework, and extend targeted relief to sectors such as agriculture, labor,
फिर वो सीरीज का लगेगा सीरीज चेंज हो जाएगा स्लॉट चेंज हो जाएगा कोई दिक्कत है क्या दिक्कत होगी नहीं इसीलिए अमेरिका है ना जब जैसा फिक्चरेशन बोलेंगे फिक्चरेशन बोर्ड चेंज होगा बोर्ड चेंज होगा तो रैम भी चेंज होगा जीडीआर 4 लगेगा है
हेलो।
हाँ प्रियंका जी, चालू हुआ है कि नहीं अभी?
हाँ जी सर, स्टार्ट हो गया है।
अच्छा ठीक, गोविंद जी से बोलिए, वो कुछ बातचीत कर, म्यूट करते हैं। The labor-intensive manufacturing, healthcare, and automotive sector. The emphasis is on making GST easier to comply and more responsive to everyday consumption. The GST Council meeting has rolled out a wide set of rate and policy changes. I will be discussing about these rate changes in 10 classified industry sectors. Primarily, the first point in this is that the structure of the GST rates is being changed from a four-tier structure of 5%, 12%, 18%, and 28% to a simpler two-tier structure of 5% and 18%. The rates of 12% and 28% will be abolished. 18% will be the rate of, will be considered as the standard rate, and a merit rate will be and the merit rate will be 5% for various items on which the government thinks more public is involved or for the public welfare at large. At the same time, a negative rate or a demerit rate of 40% has also been introduced, which discourages the consumption of sin goods. So the two-rate GST is a simpler GST rate, which is the first point of our discussion today. The second point of discussion today is about the insurance industry. Insurance has been made free from GST. And a significant decision is the exemption of GST on all individual life insurance policies, including term life, ULIP, and endowment policies. This also applies to the reinsurance of these policies. In short, The insurance industry for life insurance, ULIP, and the reinsurance has been made exempt from GST. The third point is the fast moving consumer goods which are required in our day to day life. From the morning that we get up, we use various consumer goods like hair oil, toilet soap bars, shampoos, toothbrush, toothpaste, and so on. In all these cases, the rate has been changed from 18% or 12% to a reduced rate of 5%. This change also covers other everyday household items such as bicycles, tableware, and kitchenware. The rate has again been reduced to 5% on all these items, whether it was earlier 18% or whether it was 12%. 12% rate has been abolished. The items which are having 12% rate are transferred to 5%. Please note, no item has been transferred to an upgraded rate of GST. That is, in all changes, the rate has been made favorable for the consumer. So 12% rate is reduced to 5%, and those items which were covered under 18%, selectively they have also been brought to 5% of the specified fast moving consumer good industry. The fourth major change is about the food basket. In this, the ultra high temperature milk, which was up to now taxed at 5%, has been transferred to a nil rate of taxation. All Indian breads, including chapati, roti, paratha, parota, in some places paratha is called parota, also will become nil rate. Further, a broad category of packaged food which was hitherto taxed at either 12% or 18% has been reduced to 5%. This includes popular items such as namkeen, bhujia, various sauces, pasta, instant noodles, chocolates, coffee, preserved meat, cornflakes, butter, and ghee. These changes will require quick service restaurants and food brands to make adjustments to their GST. The fifth change which has been brought about is about the healthcare industry. Healthcare has received a significant relief with a series of GST rate cuts. The Council has approved a reduction of GST from 12% to nil on 33 life-saving drugs and medicines, as well as a reduction from 5% to nil on 3 other life-saving drugs and medicines used for severe chronic diseases like cancer and rare diseases. Further, GST on all other drugs and medicines has been reduced from 5% to reduced from 12% to 5%. For various medical apparatus, reduction has been done from existing 18% to 5%, which are used for medical, surgical, dental, or veterinary purposes, as well as diagnostic kits and reagents. This will provide working capital relief for hospitals, pharmacies, and device manufacturers, while also requiring revisions on rate contracts and tenders. The sixth sector, which has seen a major change due to the 56th GST Council, is the automobile sector rate structuring. In the automobile structure, rate has been brought down from 28% to 18%. For small cars and motorcycles with an engine capacity of 350 cc or less, the rate has been reduced from 28% to 18%. The same reduction applies to buses, trucks, and ambulances. A key change is the introduction of a uniform rate of 18% on all auto parts, irrespective of their HSN code. Additionally, GST on three-wheelers has been cut from 28% to 18%. These changes will lead to an overall reduction in fleet procurement cost and decrease in aftermarket parts classification disputes, while also requiring original equipment manufacturers to adjust their pricing strategies. These changes will drastically reduce cost of ownership across all auto segments. In short, auto sector has been given the benefit of reduction in GST rate from 28% to 18%. The seventh industry which has been benefited is the cement industry. The rate on cement has been brought down from 28% to 18%. This applies to all types of cement, including PPC, OPC, aluminous slag, and similar hydraulic cements. Primary benefit is input cost relief for construction and real estate projects. The eighth industry is the textile industry. It was going through a major crisis with respect to inverted duty structure. Inverted duty structure is when the rate of GST on inputs is higher and the rate of GST on the output product is lower. In such case, the input credit keeps on accumulating. Output tax is lower than the input credit available, and this results in blocking of the working capital as well as higher capital needed, and also it comes with a added disadvantage of claiming refund at all times from the GST department of the excess rate paid due to inverted duty structure. For this, the correction has been made for man-made textile sector to correct rate on man-made fiber from 18% to 5% and on man-made yarn from 12% to 5%. This reform is crucial because of the issues we have discussed above. Ninth sector is the agriculture sector. A strong push for the primary and green sectors of the economy is being made, and the rate of GST on agricultural machinery, including tractors and other machinery for soil preparation, cultivation, and harvesting, has been reduced from 12% to 5%. This aims to lower capital expenditure and make agricultural activities more viable. The Council has also corrected the inverted duty structure in the fertilizer sector by reducing the GST on key inputs such as sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and ammonia from 18% to 5%. GST on renewable energy devices and their parts has been reduced from 12% to 5%. These measures are designed to lower both capital and operational expenditure for farming and renewable energy projects, prompting original equipment manufacturers to recalibrate their supply contracts and bids. The 10th change has been made to the services and system changes. Hotel accommodation has been changed with a value of supply less than or equal to 7,000 per day, where the room tariff is 7,500 or less than 7,500 per day. The rate has been reduced from 12% to 5%. Secondly, beauty and physical wellness services, including gyms, salons, barbers, yoga centers, their rate has been reduced from 18% to 5%. These changes will require the hospitality, that is the hotels, and the saloon chains to update their pricing and input tax credit positions. This was the first part of our session today relating to changes made by the 56th Council, which was held on 3rd of September 2025, and these rates were made effective from 22nd of September 2025. If you have any questions on this aspect, you can ask, after which I will be taking up about the GST Appellate Tribunal as the second part of our Saturday learning session today. Any questions on the first part? So we will begin with the GST Appellate Tribunal and its establishment. The GST Act was brought into force on the 1st of July 2017. Since then, assessment procedures were there, first appeal was there, but the provision of second appeal, which lies with the GST Appellate Tribunal, the rule was there, provision was there, but there was no tribunal existing. So the GST Appellate Tribunal could not be made to function. Who were having their assessment done, applied for first appeal, and wanted to go to the second appeal after being aggrieved from the order of the first appellate authority, were having no place to go except directly to the High Court. Approaching the High Court is not as easy and comfortable and involves issues of financial matter also. Anybody whose value of litigation was low would not be motivated. In some other cases, maybe the value of litigation is high, but he is not so financially well off. Margins are lower. Turnover is also not as much. May be having some difficulty in moving the High Court for petty matters. And in such cases, people were either forced to accept the order of the first appellate authority in spite of not being satisfied with the same. So the GST Appellate Tribunal is a major step in the dispute resolution scheme of the GST process, and it has been welcomed by all, one and all. In this, there is one principal bench, which is at New Delhi, and there are 31 state benches across the country. These 31 state benches will be sitting at 44 locations and conducting the GST 80 Appellate Tribunal. This tribunal is a completely electronic process, and any appeal that has to be filed shall be done electronically. Principal bench has a special importance. Any case involving an issue relating to the place of supply shall fall within the jurisdiction of principal bench, and the state benches will not be having jurisdiction. The GST 80 principal bench comprises of one president, one judicial member, one technical member of the center, one technical member of the state, and the state bench structure provides two judicial members, one technical member of the center, and one technical member of the state. Cases are ordinarily held by division bench consisting of one judicial member and one technical member. However, if case is such that a matter is not involving more than 50 lakhs rupees tax and which does not involve a question of law, can be heard by a single member bench subject to prescribed procedure. President of the GST 80 is Dr. Justice Sanjay Kumar Mishra, who is the former Chief Justice of the Jharkhand High Court. Now, GST 80 is a tribunal which is actually functioning and it is a digital tribunal. Any appeal has to be filed through the e-filing portal. Case status, cause list, and other facilities are also being progressively provided online. 16,000 cases have already been filed. Principal bench has registered 98 cases, disposed of 7 cases. The second point in this is that how can the GST 80 be important to us professionals? So for professionals, advocates and GST practitioners, GST 80 creates a new era of professional work. We will increasingly be required to handle drafting of grounds of appeal, statement of facts, preparation of paper books, determination of pre-deposit, representation before the tribunal, research on questions of law, and preparation of written submissions. Therefore, our work will no longer end with adjudication or the first appeal. We have to take care and become ourselves GST 80 ready. It is welcome from a professional point of view as well as from the point of view of the business as such, which wants to litigate its aggrieved status after the first appeal. This is about the establishment of the GST. If you have any questions on the same, please ask about it. Okay, thank you very much.